Now we're going to focus on volume, and this is chapter section 9.7. When we focus on volume, we need to think of a three-dimensional figure, a cube. And when we look at that cube, we're going to have to remember the equation of base, which is length times width. Now, when we focus on volume, we're going to be focusing on base times height. Now, in order to get the base, I need to know length times width. Once I'm able to do that, measure the length and width of the bottom of the square, I'm then able to multiply that base, length times width, to the height. So I'm actually dealing with three things here: length, width, and height. Now, length and width is going to be focusing on base. As we see in the definition at the top, the volume of a closed three-dimensional figure is the number of cubic units it contains. Now, a cubic unit is going to focus or be described as 1 centimeter cubed, or 1 cubic centimeter. So cc is going to be cubic centimeter. And the base of a prism will always have parallel congruent sides. So we already learned what parallel means, and we already learned what congruent means. So let's take a look at the volume of the rectangular prism in the practice example. Because it's a cube or a prism, it's three-dimensional. We're dealing with three things here. We're dealing with the base, which is going to be length times width. That's 4 centimeters by 2 centimeters. Length is 4 centimeters, width is 2 centimeters. So that will be our base. And then our height is 3 centimeters. So we have to multiply 4 times 2, which is 8, then times 3. So I need to multiply to get the volume of a prism. I'm going to be multiplying three things together: length, width, and height. Let's look at the practice example. Remember, the base is length times width. Then I need to multiply the base times the height. Or I can just length times width times height. And so 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 3 is 24. So 24, and here's our unit, cubic centimeters. Here's another practice example. Here's the prism. We go for number 1. 3 times 3 is 9. Times 3 is 27 cubic centimeters. Okay, let's take a look at number 2. 12 times 8, that's our length times width, and 12 times 8 is 96, and then we multiply that by 6, and that's 576 cubic centimeters. So this is a basic equation that you will have to memorize. Now let's look at practice number 3. Now let's focus on the volume of a triangular prism. The volume of a triangular prism is going to be half times the base times height, and we did talk about how to figure out the area of a triangular prism. We did focus on triangles. So this is pretty easy. We've done this before early in the chapter. Here our base is going to be 8 meters. Our height is going to be 3 meters. So 8 times 3, and then divide by 2 is going to be 8 times 3 is 24, divided by 2 is 12 meters squared. Now that's just for one triangle. Now I need to multiply that by the other length. So 12 times 10 is 120 meters. So we're dealing with three things here: 8 times 3 times 10. Here's practice number 4. I'm given the answer, I'm given the volume, 385 inches cubed. The base and the height are going to be 5 and 7. So what am I looking for? The base is 5 and 7, but the height is something we want to find. So remember, the base is 7 times 5, that's 35. So 35 times the height, 35 times x, is 385. So what do I need to do? I need to divide 35x to get 1, okay, to get x, and then divide 35 into 385. And then that will give me my height. I go ahead and divide, and that will give me 11 inches.